กายที่เธอมองเห็นว่างามสุดท้ายความเสื่อมทรามจะมาพรากไปร่วงโรยลงในสายทานยามการเวลาหมุนไปชีวิตต้องแตกสลายไม่มีเที่ยงแท้ผมเส้นงามถึงคราวร่วงไปแขนขาที่เคยว่องไวกลับไร้เรี่ยวแรงโรคภัยเฝ้าคอยคุกคามติดตามไปในทุกแห่งเกิดแก่เจ็บตายสำแดงเป็นธรรมดาหากเธอมองทุกการเกิดมาที่มีอย่างลึกซึ้ง
Today is a little bit early. I have to carry a little bit early, and one of the students been already joining. Now is at 8:48 a.m. on the January 19, 2564 on 2021. Today, starting from the class of the Pali Prosody, the Pali Prosody for the second year student, the room number A500. The weather today seemed to be a little bit more cold. It was warm for a few days, but today in the night still a little bit warm, but now after midnight the weather is cold again, and I start to wear jacket again for the 2 jackets again for today. It's not too much cold, but that I keep my body warm in this situation for the spreading of the COVID-19. Nothing can be sure. Better take care of our health before everything is too late. Now, all over the world, the crisis of the COVID-19 are spreading all over the world. Now, more than 93 million are caused to be affected by the COVID-19. Now, more than 2 million are still, but a lot of people are dying. I hope that before the viruses, the vaccine is already, probably a lot of people will die in this situation. If we talk about the spreading of the virus, it's not just only in this time, it's usually taking place 100 years after 100 years. There are several kinds of virus to disrupt the people in this globe. I hope that it may not be the end of this globe yet, but due to the climate change, due to the situations of the living beings are changing, and the natures of the natures mean the four elements: the earth, the fires, the wind, the air, the waters need to be adjusted. When the natures adjust themselves, the affected by the environments and climate and everything, especially for the kinds of the disease. If we talk about the disease have in the body, according to the teachings of Buddha, our bodies mean every being is the bodies of the disease. Mean there are a lot of the disease in our body. Only like every 31 real exists in our body. According to the teachings of Lord Buddha, there are 31 realm or the state of beings all together in these universes. In these universes, there are 4 states of the planets. According to the teachings of Buddha in the Tipitaka have said that this they call Chandalakkhana. The planet we are living right now called Chandalakkhana. There are another 3 have mentioned in Tipitaka that which directions and how far and how the physical bodies of those being in that planet were called Amara Koyana Dvipa, the second. The third is called Upaviteha Dvipa. The third is about the Uttara Puru Dvipa and Koyana Dvipa. And altogether 4, but maybe I mix it between this. Now the students keep joining. The class may going on very soon. Good morning to Venerable Charles Golinda and Sir David. Good morning. Good early morning. Sorry, we have more 5 minutes to wait for the other friend. Now I have been discussing about the climate again today. Today the climate is a little bit cold after warm for a few days. It was warm for a few days then, and for last night after midnight, and the weather started to be cold again. And today morning, so I have to wear for the jacket again. I didn't wear the jacket for a few days, but due to the today after midnight, the weather started to be cold again, and I thought that I seem to be like my throat and my nose a little bit harder to breathe. Then I better put the jacket on my bodies again and put cover my head to make my body warm, because only one way to protect ourselves from this crisis situation. And today I hope that everybody will join the class. After we have been studying for the full streams of the online teaching for this semester, due to the second spreading of the COVID-19 again, then the governments of Thailand and the administrators, staff of the committees of the MCU request for all the teachers and the students to learn online again. I mean, for this semester, maybe the whole semester will start with the teachings online and learnings online. And 3 more minutes to wait for the other friend. Anyway, I would like to say good morning to everyone. And during I'm waiting for everyone to join for the 9 o'clock class up to 10:40 for our subjects that Pali Prosody. Today we are going on with our subjects on the Pali Prosody again. After some students already submitted for the first assignment, and thank you for everyone to submit first assignment for our subjects in this semester. But I have already checked some of the students are not submitted for the assignment yet. But today we may come to check who's already submitted, who is not submitted yet. Then we can forward and continuously checking about the assignment for the first semesters of the teachings online. Because experience from the last class, the last semester, we also have for the online, but after the first spreadings of the COVID-19, then we start for the teachings online. But only after a few months, then the situations of the crisis of the COVID-19 are a little bit reduced, the crisis, and we have opportunity to learn and take an exam in the room or in the campus. That for the first semester after spreadings of the COVID-19. But due to the lack of the carefulness or the lack of the innocent people who are migrate from other neighbor to our country, and then start spreading for the second wave of the COVID-19 again. For these semesters, then start again for the second lectures online and learnings online for all our communities in MCU, not just only the campus in Wongnoi, every campus all over the countries and even the other parts of the world also. Now 19 o'clock. Good morning to Chao Colinda and Sam David.
Yes, our leader.
Chao Colinda. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, teacher.
Are you in campus or are you in Myanmar?
I'm in temple, teacher.
In the temple or in temple
Yes.
in Nagri, right? In Nagri or Pathum Thani?
Yes, in Nataburi. No.
How the weather is in Nagri today?
It's so cold, teacher.
Yeah. Last night I thought that it's warm, but after midnight when I woke up again after midnight, then the weather started to be cold again. Then I start to wear jacket again up to now. I think I better keep myself warm because when we get sick, it's not so easy to be healed. And better take care of yourself. And you have enough clothes to take care of your body's warm.
Teacher.
Do you have enough cloth to wear to make your body warm?
Yeah, I have enough, teacher.
Okay.
That is so cool.
Take care of yourself because this situation, I think, along with the second wave of the crisis for the COVID-19, and the weather is still cold, and that is the supporting for the spreading the COVID-19. And if the day is okay, the day is warm, the COVID-19 maybe get destroyed or disrupt. But during the night and morning, I think that we take our bodies and protect our bodies to be warm instead of prevent ourselves from the sickness of the COVID-19. And how about the Venerable South David? Good morning, Venerable South David. South David, are you alive? Now we have to wait for the other friend to join. Maybe it's too early. Now only 9 o'clock, 3 minutes. According to my notebook's record about the classes today. I have 2 classes today for the room number A500 and the room number A503. The first subject on the A500 is about the Pali Prosody, and the second subject is about the Dhamma talk and meditation. Both subjects are interesting, especially for the Pali Prosody, because the Pali Prosody is a little bit tough for me.
Good morning, teachers.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
A little bit cold.
It's very cold today.
Midnight, after midnight, I woke up after midnight. Then wow, it's cold again. Before the midnight, I slept. I seemed to be like not very cold. Then I didn't wear the jacket and slept. After woke up, then wow, start to be cold again. I put my jacket on again. The first put only one. After then woke up again, then I have to put one more.
Where are you right now?
In home in Sutisan area.
Oh.
And where are you? You are in campus or in city? Temple?
Yeah, in Temple, in Nathaburi.
In city?
Not in city, in the outside of the city.
Oh, in Pathum or in Nonthaburi?
Nathaburi.
How is it there? It's cold?
Yeah, very cold. And we have a lot of so many trees in our temple.
That's good. You have a lot of trees. That means the climate is better. And have you finished your breakfast?
Yeah.
Did you go for alms, or the temple have supporting for the food in the mornings, or you have the preparing yourself?
My friend they go out and receive the bow, the arm.
Oh, I see. Very good. That exercise early morning. I was reminding when the weather is cold like this, when I was a novice.
Maybe some students didn't know.
When I was a novice, I have to go for alms. My way of going for alms is more than 5 kilometers.
Oh.
In more than 5 kilometers, I have to walk out of the city and going to the village outskirts of the city. In the morning, the weather is cold like this, and we have to walk on the road is not paved by the pave or the cement, but they put the small grindstone, the greenstone, the green one, and
The greenstone is very hard.
small, like about our thumbnail like this,
Yeah.
You have to walk along with the weather is so cold, and because the monk is a novice, is not allowed to wear the shoes, right?
Yeah.
We have to walk very, very concentration
Good morning, Ajahn.
Good morning.
How are you?
today? And the weather is cold, and I'm reminding about when I was a novice,
That is why you wearing coat.
Yeah, I wear a jacket again today for 2 jackets. And I thought after midnight
Is
I
it that
woke up,
hot? Is it that cold?
I feel cold, then I wear 1 jacket. And then after 2 a.m. I woke up again. Oh, it's still cold, and I wear 1 more jacket. And along with the cap and along with the cover head, then I slept.
I have one.
Up to now, I still wear the jacket.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Saria.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning, teacher, and
Good morning,
also
everyone.
my friend.
Good to see you still alive.
Why are you silent? Why are you silent, Saria?
Because we are lucky, it's still
Today
alive.
is very cool.
Now, yesterday I saw on the site on the news that more than 93 millions already, more than 93 millions all over the world. A lot of people already die. I'm not quite sure. I forgot about 300,000 just on the USA, or all over the world about 2 millions. That means it's a little quite crisis. It's a lot of crisis. Especially number 1 is USA. If we compare to the number 2, India, population is different. USA only a few hundred millions. But in India, more than billion, mean billions and almost 500, more than 300 million. But the numbers are different. The small amount number in USA, more than, that's mean number 1 of the world. India, number 2 of the world, mean the second of the world. But number 3, the number 3 is come to waiting for the winner. That means Brazil. I think the Brazil is also a lot of crisis and become a number 3 of the world record of the getting infections of the COVID-19. It's different than China. China is more than billion people, but China reduced a lot of number. That the one thing to show about the truth behind the crisis, the truth behind the crisis. This crisis of the disease can be said the truth of the crisis of the morality. I think we can say that the truth of the crisis of the morality is, why did I say that? If any country belong to the, following the orders of the head of the country, following the head of the line route of the moralities, mean the people of that country following the precept or the rule or the strict rule for the leaders of the country to say about what should be done or what should they do in which country. If the people of those countries are moralities take care or virtues practicing, when the people are virtuous practicing of the moral, the numbers of the affected by the COVID-19 are less. For the crisis of the people in the country, for example, in USA, maybe because of the leaders are divided into 2 parts, the old governments and the new governments. Between changing the hand from the old government to the new government, there are a lot of conflict. There are a lot of the conflict between the people in the country. The people of the country still not differ about what should they do. Then they forget to guard themselves about the crisis of the COVID-19, or maybe they don't protect themselves because they are they are boring about the leaders, or they are boring about their life. Nothing to be trust, nothing to be sure what should they do. Then they forgot about how to protect themselves. Some doctors are saying that don't wear the face mask too long, then you get more disease, or
Good
you
morning,
get into
Ajahn.
trouble. Good morning to everyone once again. Now, during waiting to our friend, I saying about the crisis of the situation around the world, about the second wave of the COVID-19 in Thailand, and about the numbers of the people around the globe that have been affecting to the COVID-19. Now it's more than 93 million already. Within a few days, or I think maybe a few weeks, the number may be increasing up to 100 million soon. In this situation, then I reminding about which country are number one. Sorry, which country is number one, which country is number two, which country is number three. If you look at the populations of the country, the numbers of the populations of that country is not affected, not the cause of the affecting to the cause of the COVID-19, but it seems to be like the people are less or more is not the reason that the people, because of the less or because of the more people to be affected by the COVID-19. If we look at the truth about, like I said for a few minutes ago, that about the USA, because of the people are still not firm about the changings of the leaders, then the informations and the announcements and the firms of the moralities and firms of the informations and firms of the way of the announcement from the governments are not firm. Then the peoples are shaken by the situations of the politicals and by the economic systems and so many things. That's why Americans or the United States of America becomes the number one of the country who have been affecting continuously and to be the number one. But the number two is in India. If you look at the populations of India, it's more than billions and 300-400 millions of the population, but USA only 200-300 million different. But India become number two. If you look at the populations of India is a lot, that will still be okay. But if you look at the third country or the third number, the number three of the world that have been affecting by the COVID-19 is Brazil. Due to the Brazil was very much like a crisis for the economics for a few years ago, before the comings of the COVID-19. The people starve to death on the street, and the people not trust for the leaders of the government. The monies are almost this value, and the food are expensive, and the economic systems are crisis. The peoples are no firms about the moralities, because They don't know how to make their life to survive, and due to the Brazil is a little bit spoiled by the. We cannot complain that maybe because of the leader, because the Brazil is a very rich country about the petrol or the gasoline, the gas or the petrol. And when they saw the petrol and the government got a lot of money and the government support to the people how to live their life. When the people get easily to live their life, then they concern less about how to make the sufficiency living for their life, because their life, it depends on the government. Their life, it depends on the government. The government support them because the government's rich because of the exporting petrol or exporting the oil. The people are luxury. The people are spoiled because of the people. Okay, our government is very rich, and we don't have to worry about how to live our life. Then the people luxuries and assuming, enjoying, and luxury life is spreading all over the country. But if you look at China, the China our population is number one of the world too. Billions and more than 300 millions again. That's mean, but the China spreadings of the COVID-19 for this situation are not much and in control. If you look at the status of the state of beings of the people, mean the government of China belong to the communist rule. The communist can control every situation without careless by the people, because the government very strict how to give the control to the people. The control of the people, the same to Buddhism we call the morality. The morality means the vinaya. The vinaya means the sila. According to the threefold teachings of the Buddha, we call threefold teaching of the Buddha that sorry, I forgot to show the face of you. I suppose to show the face of the number of you, but it's not shown. Why is only me showing on the monitor? Or maybe I put on chat on hold, or have to put on this on hold. Okay, now I have to show on the screen, but I have to show on the screen about our subject. We are in the Mangala Sutta. Did everyone see the note? Sorry, the PDF on the for 12 years there was a man wishing to have happiness and well-being. Now the students still coming, right? I missed one. Okay. Okay, one. Okay, now it's show your pictures on the left side. Okay. And now we have about 20 or 21 already joining. And welcome to everyone and good mornings again. Now I have been introductions about the situations of the COVID-19, and I have compared about the situations of the COVID-19 this day. And all the students have been joining before this. Anyone remember which countries are number one of the world now?
USA.
Yeah, very good. USA is number one. Keep the USA championship.
Number two, India.
And number two,
India.
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 India. Number three,
Myanmar.
Myanmar?
Brazil.
Okay, you talk about Myanmar. How many already in Myanmar got affected by the COVID-19?
Almost 2,000 cases.
Almost 2,000, or they all get affected?
No,
Mean per day?
two cases.
2,000 per day, right? Mean 2,000 per day, or now only 2,000?
No. 20,000 Ajahn, cases now.
Altogether 20,000, right?
Yes.
Altogether 20,000. It's not too far from Thailand. Thailand more than 10,000 already. Thailand is more than 10,000 already now. But the date also increased, but not too much. If you compare to the percentage, it's not too much. But if you look at the China, the population is also the same amount to India. But the China's now in control. And I thought about a few minutes ago that this crisis of the disease we call the lack of the moral vaccine. The lack of the moral vaccine. If you look at the numbers of the country, number 1 is USA, number 2 India, number 3 Brazil, and then some other country. If the people in the country are united or cooperation very well with the government, have cooperated very well with the government or with the community or with the doctor, then the spreading of the COVID-19, it seems to be less number than the country that fighting for the freedom, fighting for for the human right. Mean if the people of the country keep fighting for the human right, mean they are lack of morality. They are lack of the moralities. Oneself, they one who protect to make a protester, they are not careful about the community. Then that's one of the risky to give to the communities that can be causes to be affected by the COVID-19. And now I just make a comparative about the Brazil. The Brazil number of the people is not much as India or not much as America. But why the people in Brazil become the 3rd country of the world record on the crisis of the COVID-19? One of the, I'm not quite sure this is the true reasons or true causes, that due to the Brazil's exporting a lot of oil for a few decades, and the people and the government rich, and the government support the way of living for the people, then the peoples are maybe lack of careful, or we can say that the people are not depend on the sufficiency economy by own feet. The people are depends on the supporting from the government. When the people are depends on the government, when the people need anything, then they request and they requires and they asking from the governments, and the government like a father, like a parent, better, not a father, parent, or the guardian. Mean if the people under the guardians need anything, then the leaders giving and giving instead of give the knowledge instead of giving the way. The same to like the people hungry, then the leader giving the fish for them to eat. But instead of the leaders or the guardian teach them how to make the weapon, how to make fishing, how to teach them to make farm, because the food are from the ground, are from the farm, it's not from the government. When the people are depend on the governments, then the peoples are careless about themselves. The government is just come and gone, because the government is nothing permanent. But the more permanent is the life of the community, the life of the society. But the societies are depends on the government. Because of that, the peoples are careless about their life. When the peoples are careless about their life, then they neglect or they forget about the moralities. They forget about to make their own virtual vaccine in their life. Not like the governments of China. The governments of China belong to the communists. And even still now, the governments of China still announces themselves that they are communist country. And the communist country means the leaders or the guardians of the government say anything, the people or the students or the people or the one who's under the control must be followed. Because of that, the situations are different. Look at Thailand. The peoples are trust in the government, and the people are trust with the processing of the system to control about COVID-19. Almost the top of the country that in control by the WTO to say about wow, Thailand is good taking care about the COVID-19. It's not overspreading in the country, but due to the lackings of some of the government officers and some of the local borders careless about the carrying people migrating into Thailand without state quarantine. Only a few people of these without state quarantine spreading to work in Samut Sakhon province. That's only a few spreading from Samut Sakhon province causes spreaders all over the country, because the Samut Sakhon is the big bell, we call the big belly, or the big stomach, or the big sufficiency food supply to all over the country, even to the world too. Because so many kinds of food are produced, and the centers of the food, especially for the ocean food, or from the ocean, the food from or the fish or any kinds of the food, along with the other food also from the borders of Thailand and from neighbor countries to support into whole Thailand and whole neighbors country in this province. And because of that, because of lackings of the moralities, only a few people now make the second spreaders of the COVID-19 in Thailand again. In this, why I say this, because it's about Mangala Sutta, about the Mangala Sutta. Now, I think maybe no one join more again, or if anyone join, then I will click to accept. Now about 29 students are joining. Now I'm click into our Pali Prosody. About the first, can you see on the note, for the PDF, the Mangala Sutta, 38 factors of the auspicious name. the title Mangala Sutta. Did anyone could give answer that? Can you see this?
Yes, Ajahn. We
Okay,
can see it.
because I couldn't imagine. Thank you for replying. Mangala Sutta is one of the most widely known of the Buddha's discourses. Someone admitting, or someone admitting. Okay, welcome. And what are the discourses, Johnny? Do you know what's meaning discourses? You have idea?
Like a Dhamma doctrines, something like that.
Dhamma doctrine, but if we talk about the Tipitaka, that means one of the Tipitaka we call Suttanta, right? Suttanta, that we call discourses, mean one is exist. The Suttanta, how many topics are there? Do you remember? Thi, ma, sang, ang, kuk, right? And I just only quickly repeat about the term Mangala means the something good or auspiciousness or lucky or a good sign or omen. The Mangala Sutta is included in the Kuttaka Nipata. We learned last time, right, about Kuttaka Nipata. Thi, ma, sang, ang, kuk. Kuttaka Nikaya or Kuttaka Patha, or in Kuttaka Nikaya. The first books of the Kuttaka Nikaya, how this Sutta came to be delivered by the Buddhas, is mentioned in the Sutta itself at the Jetavana Mahavihara of another Bindika Sethi in the state of Kosala. Who is the king of the state of Kosala? Who was the king of the state of Kosala? Do anyone remember?
Kosala. Padedadi Kosala.
Basendi Kosala, very good. Basendi Kosala. And this, the very, the big resource and the big wealthiest of the teachings of Buddhas are coming from Jetavana, because Jetavana is the very, very wealthiest in those days and very, very powerful. The whole, we can say that the whole globe in that day, along with the king Bimbisara. These two brother-in-law, we call two brother-in-law, they share the power and rule almost all over the planet in those days. Now someone joining. Already this. Okay, welcome. Akasena, welcome. And for 12 years, there was a man wishing to have happiness. For another one joining again. Welcome, Brakas Desin. Okay. And wishing to have the happiness and well-being. And I would like to comment about this a little bit. During waiting this, I joined with the face list. Maybe someone will admit, then I can click and admit them to join. For the most of the beings hope or wishing to be well-being or well-happiness. And anyone have seen the news in Thailand for a few days ago or last week? There is one auntie to hit the policeman. Have anyone seen that news?
Yeah. I saw that news.
That's very, very funny. But along this funny, some of the situation can be compared.
Sorry.
You know, now the Thai people almost like a Brazilian. Thai people almost like a Brazilian. And we could not complain them neither. Because why? Because many governments already done like this before. And I don't want to complain that even these governments also have to do like that. Why? Because the situation has been doing at the same place. If the government wants to support them, then they will be like this. They will do any harm to anything, to any part of the societies, communities, moralities, and everything. Why the people doing this? Because of Mangala Sutta. They have no opportunity to understand what is the Mangala Sutta. They only one thing, understand that if they need anything, then they go to worshipping something, even going to the monastery or into the temple. When they go to the monasteries or the temple, doesn't matter, Buddhist temples or any other religion's temple. When they go, they don't learn much about what are the teachings of those masters. Most of the people in another level is not the scholars like you are studying in the Buddhist university like that. Because if you are studying in the Buddhist university, you have to learn what is the rule, what is the morality. At least you have to learn what is the threefold teachings of the Buddha. But due to the people of Thailand, some of the people are very poor, not just only poor in the economic system, but they are very poor about the moral system neither. Why could I say that? Because so many monks, also some monks are not learn what is the true teachings of Lord Buddha. This I got by myself, you know. If anyone wanted to blame, it's blame to me because I was also a monk. Altogether as monks and novice, I was 21 years. But I have to be in the temple about more than 40, 50 monks, but only a few monks are willing to study. But most of the monks are just ordained to become a Buddhist monks and a Buddhist novice, and they may learn some. But if they have not followed the Mangala Sutta, Asevana Japalana, if they don't learn much, then they mean they don't know what is the Pantitan and Jasevana. They don't associate to the teachings of Lord Buddha. They associating to the Palanam. Most of the Palanams, when there was a lay people, they always want to make themselves wealthier and riches in the sufficiency, materialism. When they ordain to become Buddhist monk or Buddhist novice, they guiding by the one who is already powerful in the temple or in the Sangha. Because according to they are associating to. When they are associating to the leaders of the temple, then the leaders of the temple, oh, why did you go and study? Just help me in the temple. And then due to the lack of the Panchitan and Jasevana, they have only opportunity to associate with the Palanam. The Palanam say that you must help me create this, you must help me to do this, to do this. When they get the idea, because the poor people, both poor with the knowledge and poor with the wealthier, mean they are already poor. When they come to the temple, they expect holy cow, they want to be rich, they want to be wealthier, they want to be healthier. Then when they come to see in the temple, when they made to the Paladam, when they made to the Paladam say, okay, you worship this Buddha, okay, you rent this or you buy this Buddha amulet. But I didn't mean that the amulet is not good. The amulet is the duplicate of the Buddha is good. But due to the Palanam, the guidings of the Palanam bring them into the wrong way of the teachings of Lord Buddha. Bring them out of the threefold teaching. The people, they know nothing about Buddhism and they follow the one who's ordained to become a novice and monk, but without learning the teachings of Buddha. What happened? Blind leading to the blind. Blind leading to the blind. What happened? Suppose you are walking in the middle of the night without the stars in the sky, without the moon in the sky, and with the very, very strong thunderstorm and no thunder light, and it's very heavy rain, and you walk in the nowhere with the darkness, and you walk in the nowhere that you don't know where you are, and you don't know how is the floor. You may get into the edge of the mountain and you may fall down into the big well or the big hill. And the blind don't know the way. And the one who's leading by the blind don't know the way. That's why in our society, the blind leading the blind, or if we don't want to keep our word little bit, we can say that the stupid leading the stupid. That's what happened. And again and again, and I think more than 5 decades already. More than 5 decades already. Why did I say that? Because we are following some Western country. Some Western country, they announce that they are developing country, and they come to this region because they announce that they are developing country. When they come to this region, that most of the Thai people, doesn't matter monks, lay people, we have witnessed by our own eye that the Western country, they develop a lot. They develop the weapon, they develop a lot of technologies, they develop a lot of systems. Then most of the Thai people, especially for the rich family, from the noble family up to the rich family and merchandise and rich family, all is sending their children studying abroad, especially for the developing country. They thought that those countries are most developing country, with the thought that when their children studying there, then when they come back, they will be prosperities, then they will be luckiest. That doesn't mean they don't understand what is the Mangala Sutta. The people, normal people, don't understand the Mangala Sutta, and the rich people, the noble family, not understand about the Mangala Sutta. And even they understand the Mangala Sutta, but due to the trends of the leaders are more stronger. When the people are studying abroad, studying Western idea to come to this country, and they thought that Western countries are most developing country, Thailand must follow that. The rich family, the noble family, when they finish from the studying abroad, they come back to Thailand and they've been the leaders of the country. They've been the leaders of the government officers. They've been the leaders of the even temple. Okay, the temple. Maybe not many monks been studying abroad yet, but only in India. But in India, the governments are not guaranteeing, not certifying in those days that the Buddhist university graduate bachelor degrees are acceptable from the government. But the Indian government more than 40, 50 years ago accepted that the systems of the studying in Thailand are qualification or qualifying. Then admit for the studying in India about 45, 50 years ago. But in Thailand, especially for our Buddhist university, when I was finished my PhD from India, not completely, but submitted, then I joined for the religious committees in the parliament. I was one of the small unit, along with the most powerful monks in those days, the Subject of Pali Prosody right now. He is the very founders of the beginning students of the MCU. We forced from the government to make the bill or the acts of the MCU, not just only MCU, MBU too, means two Buddhist universities. We've been trying so hard, and at least 2,540 that the bill, the acts of the MCU or MBU have issued. Then the Buddhist university, the two Buddhist universities are under control of the government's university. Now, most of the outside of the university, for example, like Thammasat, Chulalongkorn over there, and other university belong private university. Before this, they belong to the government university, but they want to make themselves at the private university. Then they make the bill and act by themselves, and then they become a private university. Why do they do that? Because they want to make the fee of the studying more expensive. If they belong to the government, they cannot take more fees from the student. That you are lucky now you are coming to study in the MCU and MBU in this day, because these universities belong to the government, and then the cost of the studying and the fees for tutors studying and cheaper. This because of I wanted to make a little bit historical background. If the Thai people or if the Thai leader in those days 50 years ago put very strictly about studying about the Mangala Sutta, I think that Thailand right now could be the very much leaders of the sufficiency economy. Mean most developing country according to the sufficiency economy. But due to the reasons about what I have said, that the noble families, the rich family, the merchandise family, most are studying abroad. We could not complain them either that day, because the situation is clear like that. And they belong to the slave of the materialism too. But nowadays, we cannot say that we are the slave of the materialism yet. So many, what I have said is the situation of one auntie hit the policeman. These kinds of the fruitions of the forgettable studying about the moral of the society for 5 decades ago made the fruitions of the lacks of the morals are shown in this day. And it may be not less than Brazil in the future. If we could not provoke, if we could not motivating, if we could not cultivating, if we could not inspiring the Thai people, we must wake up from the necklace. We must wake up from the sleep with careless. We must aware about the sufficiency economy. Because the food, if we are running out of anything to eat, but we still have the land, we still have the property, at least like shelter to live where they have the house. We still have the land to make the farming, vegetable, fruit, feeding the kinds of the food, for example, like fishing and so many things, because of the land. But the land cannot be fertilized because of the without knowledge. Land without fertilized, and not just only not fertilized, but land is poisoned. Land is spoiled. The leaders of the country not just only spoil the people, but the peoples are poor of the knowledge. The peoples are manipulated by the leader, bring a lot of poison, bring a lot of chemical, and to give to the people. The people are poor in knowledge, but the great people are careless about the poor people. And suggest name, okay, a lot of bug, okay, a lot of grass, you bring this chemical and kill the grass, okay, a lot of bug, then you bind this chemical and kill a lot of bug in the farm, instead of give them the right knowledge. What is the right knowledge? The right knowledge is provoked by the King Ramanai since more than 70 years ago. Because the nature itself controls the natures, the farming and everything. Even the King Ramanai have promoted a lot, but have to against to the government, because the government want luxury, want the wealthy, want to become a next country. Okay, now I talk about next. I would like to ask a little bit. Anyone know about NICS? N-I-C, NICS. Anyone recognize about this?
No. LIC.
Yeah, NIC. That Thailand wanted to be for about 2 decades ago. 2 decades ago, Thailand announced by the government that, okay, we will become a new next country. Next means N, new. New. I mean, anyone could guess? I mean industrial. I think everyone can guess now. C, what is meaning? I never
Comfortable.
John, could you guess?
Comfortable.
Or Myolin? Myolin, could you guess what is a C? C, not the sea level, not the ocean. C, sat. A C is a sea cat. C as a cat. Okay, I give the answer. So, okay. C mean country, mean new industrial country, new industrial country. But it's not too bad, you know. It's not too bad because Thailand have a lot of industrial country, but now so many big industrial company are moved to another parts of the world because Thailand is already changed. What is Thailand changed? Because the qualities of the people are changed. Then the qualities of the people are changed. The big industrial companies wanted to get the more moral labor in their company. But for the Thai people, what I say the same to the Brazil. Now we are maybe copy Brazilian because so many things we are supporting by the guardian, mean the one who's leader. But very lucky, Thailand maybe not much like Brazilian because Thailand still have sufficiency economy that has been provoked, had been motivating and cultivating, inspiring all over the country. But some people already and good taking care about the sufficiency economy, they are on the right rail of the developing their own or their themselves. Mean they themselves firm, the community is also firm. When the communities are firm, or the country also be firm. And maybe not much crisis as much as Brazil. But nothing can be sure yet because this day we call the day of the human right. The day of the human right. But most of the people who want themselves right woke up. But a lot of people not wake up. Because many numbers of the people don't want to deal. Okay, I don't want to be concerned. That one I wanted to show one. I wanted to show one word. I wanted to show one word about the situation of the world right now. Okay, this one. This one I wanted to show because it's said by the leaders of the world. This word is very interesting. I will show you this word by one of the most powerful men in the world. This one. I'm not quite sure. Wait for a few seconds. The picture will show to you. I think maybe in my view someone. Sorry, the program a little bit slow. Come in, please hurry up. Please hurry up. Okay, now it's shown. Who is this man? Can you see now? Can anyone see? I'm not quite sure. It's shown or not.
Yes, we do it.
Okay.
Einstein.
I see that. Albert Einstein, the full name. Albert Einstein. What Albert Einstein say? The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch and do nothing. Do you understand this meaning?
Yes, I do it.
Do you agree with this word?
Yes, I am.
I hope
50-50 อาจารย์
50-50 because the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil but by those who watch and do nothing. This I think maybe if we say not what you say against to one side to another side 50-50 is okay. Why? The bad also can be destroying the world. For example, like during the invasions of the Hitler, right? During the invasions of the Hitler, all the world almost destroyed. But the one who is those days believed to be the leaders of the world, trying to protect for the part of those who watch and do nothing. So many countries try to be the opposite side to fight against the Hitler. But in the last minute, the USA come and then defeat Hitler. And then the USA become the number one of the world. When the number ones of the world trying to do things, but it seems to be now number one of the world also suffering. The number ones of the world also suffering. Why the number ones of the world suffering? Because number ones of the world also didn't have the backgrounds of the Mangala Sutta. The number one of the world also lacks of the Mangala Sutta. Because the number one of the world have one of the slogan or the philosophy that they call frontier. You know frontier? Anyone understand frontier? Anyone understand the frontier?
What does that mean อาจารย์ frontier I never heard before.
You never heard before? Okay, I'll type in this chat, okay? Frontier, that one slogan is now it's become one of the company. One of the company make a car. Frontier is like a forcing to the age. To the age, I'm not quite sure age spelling this. So the age. The age means
Yes, sir.
the age means like the border or the end of or the aim. We can say that frontier is mean forcing to the aim. Like a frontier, one of the car have name of the brand they call Frontier. But the American people, they have the slogan that they are the frontier. They fight till to the end. They fight till to the end. But because of that, American mean several groups of the people are migrate from different parts of the world into USA. Then the melting pot oneself to be the American. Many every nations are melting into one nation, call themselves America. But due to the backgrounds are different, mean they have the moralities of the industrial. You know the industrial? If it come back to the Dhamma in a part, anyone remember what is the industrial mean? Industrial
Technology.
technologies. Almost. Anyone else? Almost correct. Because the technologies are coming from the industrial. But
Factory
what is
or
meaning of the word
Manufacturing.
industrial according to the informal part?
Industrial is a factory.
Confused.
Okay, could I give the answer?
Factory.
Victory?
Yes.
Almost, but not yet.
China is a very good industry.
Industrial mean
Could you
in
spell that, Ajahn?
informal part.
Could you
mean-
spell that for us?
American people, they take this slogan. I'm not quite sure it's from this informal part, but exactly because Samma Vayama. What is Samma Vayama?
Right effort.
Very good. Right effort. But we could not say that the American people have the right effort, but at least they have the effort. Effort means industry. Industry means they try every way. They try every how. Along with the Sammapathan, mean they look what is not good, then they change. If it's not good yet, then they develop. If already good, then they keep developing. That means the scientific way. Most of the American people, they are learning from different background than our society. Our societies are developing from the forms of the moral of the Mangala Sutta. But due to the lack of the right knowledge or the right view, the leader wanted to follow the Western because the Western, they're more developing. Then we want to follow the Western, but with the poor of knowledge, we don't understand the historical backgrounds of them. We already have our own background, but if we wanted to make our more firm than the Western country, we must keep our moral system firm and then bring the moral system another one is still weak. For example, like industry. Then if we are firm with the moralities and create another new developing moral by the industry, then we will be more firm than developing country. But now it's shown, now it's shown the frontier, the foundations of frontier mean forcing, shown to the world, right? If they want anything, then they force to get. Then the damage is coming to the community. As the King Ramana have said one word, the Thai leaders between the two opposite sides, they fight together. Then the King Rama IX come to be the negotiator, call both of them come, and then sitting and discussing. And the king said that, what is the benefit between the winner of both or the victories of the both sides? But the city is ruined or the community is ruined. Mean the moral is ruined. What is the benefit about the victory about that? That means both sides fighting, but nothing benefit to each one. Mean both are standing in the top of the room. Do you remember for a few years ago, the country in the Middle East we call Arab Spring? The people keep fighting from one side to another side with the big gun and shooting to each other. The whole cities are like the coffin, like the funeral. mean no one can go and work, no one can traveling, no one can do anything, just only killing and killing and killing. And then the city like the funeral place. The same thing in this situation, along with the crisis of the COVID-19, due to the lack of the just only one group of the moral, Mangala Sutta. At least if the communities, the societies, the countries have following the institution of the Mangala Sutta, we can say that Mangala Sutta is the group of the institution, or we can say this is the constitutional law of the developings of the human being for the luckiest, for the prosperities, for the wealthiest, for the happiness of all beings, must follow the Mangala Sutta. But very poor, you know, and due to the lack of the leaders and due to the poor of the follower, due to the coward, I can say that the coward. Anyone understand the coward?
Yes, a weak man.
Yeah, like me, I also one of the cowards.
Really, Ajahn?
Yeah, many years ago, I didn't dare enough to say this, you know. I am one of the cowards in this society. I'm not dare enough to say this. But after I graduated my PhD, and I have facing a lot of trouble, and even I die, I could not change my society. And one thing, when I was an in-law to the USA, I was one of the in-law to USA, and my wife said that we better go and live in America. And I told to my wife that day, America already developing country. If I go there, I'm not is one no need for the American people need me, but I think in my country need me better than America need me. Then I thought that I better live in Thailand. You know, that's the first thought about 22, 23 years ago. Those days, many Thai people want to live in America. But what I've been there, I've seen in America, I thought in my mind that, oh, no need to live in America. It's very soon, the Thailand will be part of the American life. But no, this day, if you want to know how is America, you look in Thailand. Every corner of the city, we have the big mall, we have the super mall, we have the main road, super highway, expressway. We have a lot of brands of the car from different parts of the world. Different brands of the car produced in Thailand. The same in USA. We call Thailand Detroit of USA. Because those days, Detroit, when I was the first visiting to America, we landing in Detroit. Detroit is very much like an industrial of the factory, industrial state or industrial city. Most of the foreign companies are settled in Detroit. A lot of companies are there. When I think in this way, then I thought that better live in Thailand. And you know, only a few years after that, Thailand copy everything. What is American have, Thai societies also have. Not just only copies about materialism. Now in Thai society, copying The same thing, moral it is. But the opposite way, American society already changed about 30 years ago, even before I've been there. American people already changed because American people already aware about the people or their own people. Mean they are spoiled their own people. Their own people are spoiled. Then, but the normal people not aware about that yet. But so many books are written by the most venerable Paul Payutto. The venerable Paul Payutto, he just only graduated, only bachelor degree from MCU. But due to his self-studying, self-education, and he been to America and he lectures in the Harvard universities and some significant universities in USA, and he understands the ideal of the societies of the American people. He have mentioned about more than 30 years ago about look at America to develop Thailand. And so many books are written about America, so American society, and compared to the Thai society. That is as a warning. The venerable have warning the Thai society since I was my graduate from India. I have finished my PhD from India, but I could say that I have been concerned almost to all works of venerable, we call the most venerable Chapakun Samdet Payutto. Then I could read Americans and I could read Thailand. I could understand the American situations and the Thai situation since those days. Then I devote myself to volunteer. The first thing that I got, the bill, the act of the MCU and MDU. That one part is I almost, only one thing I have deal with the part of the religious committees since I was graduate from India. And I never joined for the government job because I thought that if I join the government job and if I have to say anything immoral to against to immoral in the part of the government, I will be suffering. I will be disturbed by the part of the government. Then I thought that I better be in the private sector. Then I devote myself in the name of religious expertise to help on the academic committee on the behalf of the religious committees. Then I can say something that what is the right and what is the wrong according to the teachings of Lord Buddha. But till to last government, 2019, I thought that it is hopeless to pull back the Thai society to be firm in the good shape of the moralities again. That is very much like something showed up in the end of the 2019 or 2562. The COVID-19 came and it's shown what I have made research about 30 years ago is already shown what is the most venerable for all of you to have criticized and critical and have given the idea to motivate to awareness, to be awareness, to cultivate and to inspire the Thai people not to copy American society, everything. We can copy something, but not everything. That's why I always say to all of you, my student in recently for 5 years since up to now, don't copy Thai society, but something can be copied. Something can be good to copy, but something already interchanged. Something's already interchanged. But what I don't want to say, because I don't want to say bad things in Thailand on behalf of myself. But now everything is shown by your own witness, your own eye. Only how could we make Thailand slowly to the edge of the ocean or to the edge of the whale or hell? But nothing can complain according to the teachings of Buddha. Because one of the crises, the people are getting age slower, then the moralities are more lacking and more lacking the moral, and the violence are more stronger and stronger. But only the one who is firm in moral. But nothing can guarantee that even you are firm in the moral, then you will not suffering. Nothing can be confirmed. Everybody will be suffering because we are one of the part of the society. But the one will be suffering along with getting to know what is the Mangala Sutta, what is to make our mind be firm according to the teachings of Lord Buddha. Like last time, now should I go back to the subject that we are studying? Sorry, I would like to show about the topics of Mangala Sutta again. And Mangala Sutta. Now, will you got back to the PDF, right? Did you get back the pictures of the Khuddaka Nikaya again? I hope no one's sleeping yet, right?
No,
Only?
Jan. I'm listening you, but I
Can
don't
you see?
understand what do you.
Can you see the Mangala Sutta again?
We are listening to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do.
And this just only one we can say that one group of the moral firm. This is only one group of the moral firm. If the Thailand won't forget about this, if the Thailand, developing Thailand, along with the Mangala Sutta, sin we have associated to the American society. If we have developing our country according to our own moralities, at least Mangala Sutta, when we have associated to the American society, without pay all 100% to the size of the American culture, and developing something good from the American society, and developing Thailand, something is lacking according to the developings of the American society, along with the parts of the moral in our society. Very well, I think, for now, American society will have to learn from us. But now, We don't know yet how to say. Should we follow the American, or should be American follow our society? I think no one can be sure that. Like we have learned already about I put into this like a 2G. The first G, brief meanings of the 38 factors of the auspiciousness. Number one, not associate with the foolish. 2, associate only with the wise. 3, to honor those who are worthy of honor. To honor those who are worthy of honor is the triple gem. If we look at the triple gem, then we look at the qualities of the triple gem. What are the triple gem? Number 1, Buddha. Second, Dhamma. The third, Sangha. If we look just only the Sangha, the noble Sangha, I think even those days, a lot of noble Sangha still available in Thai society. But due to the trends of the materialism, is inspiring by the American society, by the American truth, by the American politician, so political, by the Thai politician and political, is more influent, more invasion into the Thai society. Then the noble Sangha, supposed to be honest, or the teaching Mangala Sutta, supposed to be honest, but very few people think about that. There were only some people going to the temple, worship to those monks who are supporting the material, or those monks who are watching but doing nothing, because they cannot do anything. The same like they see one of the ship, small ship, floating from the Angara River before the waterfall, and those noble, those honor people try to say, hey, look, be careful. Are you going to fall into the waterfall? But most of the people on the ship enjoying the materialism, mean the sensual pleasures. Those are only enjoying the sensual pleasures, just jumping, drinking, and doing dancing, sensual pleasures, every sensual pleasures. Through the eye, through the ear, Jakku Vinyana, Sota Vinyana, Kana Vinyana, Shivha Vinyana, Kaya Vinyana, and Mano Vinyana. No one aware about the dangers of the falling into the big waterfall. Suppose for you, Mr. Johnny, what will you do?
Excuse me?
Suppose you saw a ship going to fall into the waterfall, and what will you do?
Check.
Check.
Oh, I don't know.
Check that you are in that ship or not, right? Check you are in that ship or not. If you are in that ship, jumping and swimming to the shore before the ship is fall down into the waterfall, right?
Yes, I would do that.
But we cannot do anything because everybody seems to be, don't talk to me. Now I'm sensual pleasures. Maybe like so many American society, you know. Don't bother my private personal. don't bother me, my human right. Don't bother me, I'm my own dignities. Like this. Maybe like someone alcoholism, someone is cocaineism, someone is yabaism. You know yaba?
Yes.
What is in English yaba? Yaba in Thai. But what in English? What MM? M. Amphetamine. Okay. Amphetamine. It's not vitamin, okay? It's not vitamin. Not vitamin B, vitamin A, vitamin C. Amphetamine. But in Thai we call yaba. What is the meaning yaba? Crazy medicine.
Yeah, silly medicine.
Crazy medicine.
Silly drunk.
Yeah. But you know the name already say that yaba. But you know the foolish people still
Call is Yama.
Yama. The first is Yama, but now it's called Yaba.
Yama.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. The first Yama. Why is it mean Yama? Because the horse never get tired. The horse.
Yama is a sort of medicine which people feed the horse in the Second World War. Yeah.
Oh, I see. But according to the Thai, Yama mean because when they take this crazy medicine and then they feel not tired, they seem to be like active all the time. Then they call Yama. But after Yama, then they feel the people seem to be like they all associate to Yama is like a crazy man or crazy woman. Then they call Yaba. According to the historical backgrounds of comings of the meanings of the word, but the people still taking even the name is Yaba. And the police have to protect the good people from the Yaba. But even they know how to sell in Thailand, do you know one thing? They are arrested, they are in jail, but they still sell the Yaba from the jail to the people out of the jail. It's very, very strange. That means every communities there are the immoral. Even the official is immoral. Even the local peoples are immoral. That means the immoral create the trouble. Immoral means the foolish. And that's we are studying only a few words or only one G. And the second G means a group or kata. Asivana Japala Pandita Jasivana Puja Pujaniyana Tamangla Mutamang is the first kata. The second kata, the second G. The brief meanings of the 38 factors of the auspiciousness mean Patirupade Sawaso Chapupe Katapunyata Tasamba Panitja Edam Mangala Mutamang. This. Only second group. Even this one. The same in half Thai and half English. It's very, very sad for the Thai society. I don't want to complain to anyone because of the sins of our community. Mean no specific sin for anyone, but mean the whole community sins. The whole community lack of the knowledge that is make our society suffering for now. Okay. We could not forward into another G, the third G. What is another third G? Mr. Johnny, do you remember? The second G is
Excuse me, Jan.
How about the third G? Do you remember?
I cannot chant in Pali here. Ajahn.
Okay. Pali is, do you believe me? Pali is very significant. Well, the Pali is more easier to remember. But if we remember in modern English, it's not so easy. But when we remember the Pali, and then easy for us to remember in English. The third G is like a Pahusatjanja Sipanja Vinayoja Supsikito Supasita Jayavaja Etamangala Muttaman. The next day we're going to start with our third G. Our third G is about Katha Pahusatjanja, mean the great learning, extensive learning like this. Or Sipancha, Vinayoja, Supsikito, Supasita, Jayavaja, Etamangala Muttaman. Now I would like to inform that the PNRU or the Pranakorn Ratchapat University going to give the admission for the student to study the Buddhist Abhidhamma science. We call the programs of the Buddhist Abhidhamma science, mean the bachelor degree in the Abhidhamma for the Pranakorn Ratchapat University, that for the university training teachers to be, mean training the student to be the teachers in the future, is already opening for the admission. If you get any friend who would like to join for the teacher training school, you are welcome. And could see in my Facebook advertisement I have given on. Okay, now we are coming to the end of the minute. And next class we are going to start with the third G. If anyone have these kinds of Mangala Sutta, and if you wanted to talk, and I will share your idea on the talking to your friend during the class, please sharing, please take care, and please telling to everyone can be joining. Okay, anyone have anything to say before our class finish?
Hello, Chen.
Yes.
May I ask you what for your assignment, right?
Oh
How
yeah,
many pages?
your assignment now I have checked out, not complete yet. Someone still not shown on my email and Gmail yet, but I will write the name and put on the face group, okay? On the face group, and try again maybe. But someone sending, but I could not open. Somehow it's no attachment of the PDF, no attachments of the Word or any kinds of the Excel, no. Maybe I will put the name that already shown, and if you don't have the name, mean your assignment is not shown yet. And
Ajahn.
please try in sending through the email and Gmail. I will put again on my email and Gmails again. Then you can send it or resend it again. But
Ajahn.
if your name is already typing,
Ajahn,
yes.
I said already finished.
Did you receive my assignment? I sent
Yeah,
to
Johnny
your
already.
email.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, I also
Thanks.
sent to your email already.
Yeah, I have seen, but I already marked, someone already sent, but I cannot see so many. It's still many still not shown yet.
I submit already.
Okay, I cannot remember who you are, okay? And
Teacher, can you read
I will type your name and ID
Yes, Ajahn,
and put
okay.
on the group face. If you cannot see, that means you are not shown in the Gmail yet, okay? That means
Okay, Ajahn, okay,
your
okay.
name is shown.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Yeah, then you can see. That means you already received. I already checked. But if your name is not shown in the group, that means you are still need to send more. Okay? Because I could not
Ajahn.
remember who you are, and exactly now I remember only one, Johnny and
Ajahn,
Miaolin, two, and Kun Kwang, another one. Okay, already. Only three now I remember all of you, but not the other. Thank you very much for joining, and see you again next week. If you are really
Okay, see you.
preparing for the talk, please tell me during the class is running. Sir, today I would like to talk so and so like this, okay?
No, after the next week, we will meet you in the class, Ajahn.
In the class or in the line? It's
No,
still
after the
online or we need in
next
the
week, we will have, yeah.
Oh, we have in the campus,
In the
right?
class, the class will reopen, yeah.
Oh, okay, that should be better. Then I can, maybe I didn't have to send, and I better show you in the room that who is submitted you and not submitted, okay? All right. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you,
See you
Ajahn.
next week, and see you
Thank
next
you,
week.
thank you.
Ajahn.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
good
you.
to see
Have
you.
a,
Now we
have
have
a nice day, Jan.
31
Thank
Yes,
you.
joining
see
for
you.
today.
Very good.
We have more than 60, but only 30 students are joining. All right. Goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye, Ajahn.
Goodbye. See you next
Bye,
week.
goodbye. Good luck, Ajahn.
If nothing changed, then you can see in the campus. If the situation is changed, then we may see online again. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
กายที่เธอมองเห็นว่างามสุดท้ายความเสื่อมทรามจะมาพรากไปร่วงโรยลงในสายทานยามการเวลาหมุนไปชีวิตต้องแตกสลายไม่มีเที่ยงแท้ผมเส้นงามถึงคราวร่วงไปแขนขาที่เคยว่องไวกลับไร้เรี่ยวแรงโรคภัยเฝ้าคอยคุกคามติดตามไปในทุกแห่งเกิดแก่เจ็บตายสำแดงเป็นธรรมดาหากเธอมองทุกการเกิดมาที่มีอย่างลึกซึ้ง